Words appear. Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos and Victor Gouveia announcing. On Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. The Blind Perspective Network. Brought to you by VIP Tech and Greek Auto Services. Welcome everyone to Learning Together here on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. Brought to you by VIP Tech. I am your announcer, Victor Gouveia. Remember, if you like what you're about to hear, activate the like button and share it with your friends and families, especially if you think they can benefit from anything we say here. And subscribe to both Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner, making sure to activate the notification bell so you know when we go live or upload a new video. Additionally, we do stream on our Facebook page, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And on Twitter, @BlindWhos. If you can't catch us live, catch us on podcasts. Whether you have an Apple device, a Google device, a Windows device, or even the HumanWare line of players, go to the podcast section or any podcast app you like, do a search for Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And that'll get you to our podcast, which you can subscribe to. Additionally, you can also ask Alexa to play Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And she'll go out and find you all the episodes that we currently have available. All hands-free. If you want a copy of the audio or video for this recording, or any recording we do here on the network, send us an email, whoseblindlifeisitanyway@gmail.com, or Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner @gmail.com, and we'll send you out a link to the folder on Dropbox where you can download all the episodes of everything we broadcast on the two stations. On this episode of Learning Together, Zoe continues her voiceover utility tutorial and demonstrates the other parts of the utility that you can take advantage of. And now, your host, Zoe Fiogkos.
Welcome to another episode of Learning Together. And again, this week we are going to continue with the voiceover utility. So if you guys remember, we did the general category, general category, and we also did the verbosity. So this week we're going to continue on with the voiceover utility. Now, I want to keep these episodes, I said this before, but I want to keep these episodes under an hour, because I believe, honestly, that, too much is too tiring. And I think less information, you get it faster. However, having said that, it wouldn't make sense if we cut the categories in half. Some may make sense, some may not. So we'll see how it goes. I have a timer running, just so that, we don't really go over the time. And we'll figure out what's going to happen. So before we get to the voiceover utility, I want to mention something about interacting. Interacting you know how we said we press Shift down arrow or to interact, and Shift up arrow to stop interacting. And I know that's a thorn in many people's many people's sides, especially coming from Windows. I understand that. It really is something you just have to get used to, and eventually it becomes, like second nature. But if you have a trackpad, interacting can become much, much simpler. Now, I do intend to do an episode just on the trackpad, but I just want to give you, just because the interacting is everybody's biggest learning curve. So I just want to tell you that if you have a trackpad, I'm going to show you in a bit, it's very easy to interact and uninteract. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'll show you that right away. I am sharing my screen now. So as we've mentioned in the past, so visually impaired people who maybe have problems with their their eyesight, but have way more vision than us, they can actually see what's going on. And I also think that if somebody has problems following my instruction, they can always get a sighted person to also look at the screen and maybe explain it in a different way or better than me or help out. So that's the point of sharing the screen. Okay. So what I want to tell you now about the, before we get to the VoiceOver utility, I just want to show you quickly what I'm talking about, the interaction. And the reason, again, that I'm showing you this is because, one, to show you that it can be done in a very easy way, so you don't have to remember all those keys and the key command, but also to give you hope that in the future, as you get more advanced on the Mac and maybe even start using a trackpad, things can become very easy on the Mac. And if you're an iPhone user, that's even better because you're going to understand this right away. Before I do that, I'm just going to pick up my trackpad and I'm just going to hold it up in front of my face. So it's just a flat pad. It feels like metal to me. In this case, it's white. At the back of the trackpad, you have it feels like a very long cylinder. And that's where your batteries go. I'm not going to actually show you how to install the batteries. Whoops. Sorry. I'm not going to show you. When we get to the episode on the trackpad, I'll go into more detail about that. Okay. So I'm going to remove my headset so you guys can hear my voiceover. And I'm going to choose something to interact with. Hold on.
Option control.
So I'm going to go to the dock.
Google Chrome open 21 of 30.
And I'm going to select.
Application dock item.
What should I select for you
control.
guys?
Option,
Actually, no. I'm going to go to the desktop. So hold on.
Option Shift desktop group.
All right.
Currently on a Blind Kisses folder.
All right.
Currently on a folder.
Let's toot my horn. There's my Blind Kisses folder. Let me turn up the volume on the Mac.
Control.
All right. Let's see if that's better.
Important scans folder. Blind Kisses folder.
I think that's
you are currently on a folder.
Okay. I'm going to open up this folder.
Option. Blind Kisses window. Icon view collection. You are currently on a collection. To begin interacting with the items in this list, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
Okay. So I've opened up the folder and it lands you in the main window, not your toolbar, not your sidebar. And we've done an episode on those. So you guys, by now, you should know what those are. So, and she gave us the instructions. If we want to interact, we press Shift down, or if you have caps lock, Shift down, or you take your two fingers, in my case, the fingers that suit me, which is the two fingers next to my thumb, and you place them on your trackpad. So, and you just swipe to the right.
Bracelets not on display yet. Folder. You are currently on a folder. To exit this group, press Control, Option, Shift, up arrow.
So now it automatically interacted because it's telling me one of the folders. So if I move around the window, now I can actually move around using my Vogue keys and my arrow keys.
Control, Option, donated pieces of earrings not displayed yet. Folder.
So you see it goes through the various folders. If I flick to the left with the 2 fingers, swipe again.
Out of icon view, collection 1 item selected.
So she said out
Control.
of, whoops, sorry, out of icon view. So I'm not interacting anymore. And I'm just going to lift up the trackpad, hold it up to my face. So it's in front of my nose now. So the camera should be picking it up. If I take my 2 fingers and I flick to the right.
In earrings not displayed yet. Folder.
She said in earrings not displayed yet. Folder. If I flick again, the
Out of icon
opposite
view,
way.
collection 1 item selected. Earrings not displayed yet. Folder.
The opposite way, she takes us out. So that's a very easy, let me close this folder.
And not JPEG. JPEG.
So it takes us interacting, no more keys to press. That's an option for you guys for interacting. So basically, when you buy your Mac, you can buy your, if the keyboard comes with it, and you can say, well, I would also like a trackpad if it doesn't come with it. So for example, in my case, for my iMac, the trackpad came with it. I think. Why do I think it did? Anyways, I think it did come with it. But it is something if it doesn't come with it, you can, for me, because I'm a big time iPhone user, it's well worth to get the trackpad because you can use your double tap, your flicks, just like you do on the iPhone. But we'll get more into detail with the trackpad later, okay? So I'm going to open up our VoiceOver utility. Let me make sure I've closed my folder. I may have not. Let me see.
Vertical splitter. Site, you are currently on a table.
Yeah.
To enter this table, press Control, Up, Command, close window, Finder.
Okay, now I close the window. So I'm going to open up my VoiceOver utility with the Shift 8.
Control, Option, opening VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility, window, utility categories, table,
Okay.
general. Selected has keyboard focus.
When you open up VoiceOver utility, she's always going to automatically land on general by default. So she told us where the VoiceOver is focused on the table and we're on the general category. So I'm going to interact by flicking my 2 fingers right on my trackpad.
In utility categories, table, general, selected, general, verbosity.
Okay.
You are currently on a cell inside of a table. To navigate this,
I'm not even using
Control.
my Vogue keys. I'm going to arrow down. We did general. We did verbosity.
speech. You are currently on a cell
Okay.
inside of a table. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control.
So we heard speech, and that's
Control.
the next category, speech, and that's what we want. So I'm going to stop interacting by flicking my 2 fingers left.
Out of utility categories, table.
Okay. And now we're going to go into the category.
Option, Control, voices, selected, tab, 1 of 2.
Okay.
You are currently on a tab.
We've got 2 tabs here.
Control.
We've got voices and we've got pronunciation. There's only 2 tabs here.
Option, pronunciation, tab, 2 of 2. Voices, selected, tab, 1 of 2.
Okay.
You are current.
We're going to start with the voices tab.
Control. Control, pronunciation, mute speech, unchecked, checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or
Honestly, guys,
Control.
that makes sense. Mute speech, checkbox, unchecked. Why would we mute speech? We're blind. We need VoiceOver. But maybe, who knows why they have that setting? Maybe, I don't know, maybe you have a situation with your eyes where, you have an operation and you get your vision back and you no longer need VoiceOver. I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of muting speech this way would be, because there is other ways to mute speech temporarily. I guess if you want to mute speech temporarily and you don't know the key commands or the gestures on the trackpad or whatever the case may be, I guess that's why they have it here. You would go into VoiceOver utility, mute the speech, but remember, you're muting speech, but VoiceOver would still be working, just it's not going to tell you what it's doing. So it wouldn't really benefit a sighted person. Now, if you want to mute speech because, I don't know, you're making a video and you just want people to, I don't know, see what you're typing. Honestly, I'm probably sure I could come up with a million scenarios of why you would mute speech in here. For me, I have used a gesture to mute speech when I'm on Zoom. So when I'm on Zoom, I don't want the other people in my Zoom session to hear my voiceover. So I temporarily mute speech, but not from the VoiceOver utility. It doesn't suit me to be in my Zoom session, and before I turn on my mic, there's things I want to do. Like I want to see who's in my meeting, or I want to type something out in the chat box, or I want to check my mic or my camera, whatever the case is. I need VoiceOver to be working. So it doesn't suit me to be in the Zoom meeting and then open up VoiceOver utility, uncheck, check this, then close VoiceOver utility, do what I want to do, then turn it back on. It just doesn't suit me that way. There's a much, much easier way. But I mean, that's one scenario, right? Okay, anyways, let's move on because we've said too much about that. It's pretty self-explanatory to me. So let's go on and hear what VoiceOver has to tell us next.
Option, Control, Customize Language List, Table. You are currently on a table. To enter this table, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
All right. So she wants us to interact with this table. And she said,
Customize Language List, Table.
Customize Language List. Basically, this is where you play with your voices. Do you want more than one English voice? Do you speak a second or third language? So I'm going to interact with this table.
In Customize Language List, Table, Language, Default, Column 1, Row 1. You are currently on a cell.
Default language is English.
Control.
Because when you set up your computer, you're going to set up, what country you're in. So if you're in China, default language might be Chinese, right? But we're in Canada and the US, even Australia, it's English. But for example, you're in Australia, you're used to the Australian accent. So maybe you don't want a voice with the American accent, right? So yeah, there's, maybe you want a Spanish voice. I, for example, have a Greek voice. So I'm going to arrow down, listen. Sorry.
Option, English. You are currently on a cell, inside of a table. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, or right arrow. To exit this table, press Control, Option, Shift, up arrow.
Okay, so English, so under default.
Default. English. You are currently on a cell,
English.
inside of a table.
And
to
then,
navigate the cells with...
under default is English,
Control.
because that's the default language, but I'm going to keep arrowing down.
Control. Language specific configurations. You are capital E P S I L O N L A N B D A L A N B D A E T A N U I O T A K A. Greek letter alpha with tonus Greek. You are currently on a cell 2 items inside of a table.
Don't even bother trying to figure out
Control.
what she just spelled out. But basically, that's my Greek voice, okay? I don't have anything else in here, but listen.
Option. Capital E P voice. Melina voice pop-up button. Column 2.
So when I went,
Control.
I was on that Greek where it announced that that's the Greek. And then I arrowed, arrow right. It says voice Melina. So the Greek voice, so we have Samantha, Moira, Karen, these are other voices. For the Greek voice is called Melina. So listen to that again.
Option control. Language. Capital EPSILONLANBDALANBDAETANUIOTAKA. Greek letter alpha with Thomas. Greek. Column 1, row 4. Voice. Melina voice pop-up button. Column 2, row 4.
So it's a pop-up button. So I'm going to press that pop-up button and listen.
Press. Melina. Voice. Pop-up button. Nikos. You are currently up. Customize ellipsis. Customize Nikos. Check mark. Melina.
Okay. So there's 2 Greek voices that I can use that are available to me, and I've downloaded both of them. One is Melina and one is Nikos. And as you can hear, Melina is checked. So that means that this is my default voice for the Greek. Okay, so for example, maybe I haven't checked out the Spanish voices because I don't speak Spanish, and it is something I want to learn. But let's just, for example, say you want Spanish. There might be 5 different voices. I don't know, Julio, Nacy, Bianca, whatever. I don't know the names of the Spanish voices. And maybe you want all 5 voices that are available, but you're going to check which one you want for the default, which ones, but you'll have the option later to change the voice. Okay. Now, at the bottom, hold on, I'm going to get out of this menu for a second.
Melina voice pop-up button. Column 2, row 4 pop-up button cell. Option. Control. Rate. 50 rate. Rate stepper. Column 3.
So my
Control.
if I vote arrow right after the pop-up menu, it says rate and it says stepper. And I have it set to 50%. Okay, so listen to that again. I'm gonna go left and then right so you guys can hear that again.
Option control voice. Melina voice pop-up button. Rate. 50 rate. Rate stepper. Column 3, row 4. You are currently on a
So
control.
do I want the speech rate to change? If I do, I would.
Option. Control. Column 4, row 4 empty cell. Rate. 50 rate. Rate stepper. Column 3, row 4. You are currently on a cell 2 items inside of a table. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, 50 rate, rate stepper, column 3, row 4 cell 2 items, Control, up column 4, row, rate, 50 rate, rate stepper, column 3, row 4.
Okay.
You are currently on.
I
Control.
pressed Vo space on that column, rate stepper. And watch.
In, 50 rate, rate stepper, column 3, row 4 cell 2 items, 50, rate, edit text.
Okay. So I interacted with that.
Option. 50, content selected, rate, edit text. 50, 50, content selected.
And what I can do at this point
Control.
is I can type and change it, for example, to 40. Okay. Or 35. There is a better way to do it, but I'm showing you what's here now. Okay. So I'm going to escape from this.
On up, 50 rate, rate stepper, column 3, row 4 cell 2 items, Control, Option, 50 rate, rate step, column 4, rate, 50, voice, Melina voice pop-up button, language, capital, E-P-S.
Okay, so I went all the way to the left, back to
column
the language,
1, row 4,
and I'm going to go back up to the English.
Option, Control, language specific, English. You are current.
So I'm back on the English.
Control.
Some voices, you can only do so much with them. Others you can do more. So for example, actually, sorry, I'm going to go back down to the Greek and listen.
Option, language, capital, E, voice, Melina voice pop-up.
I'm going to press on the pop-up
Column
menu.
2, row 4. Press, Melina, Nikos, customize ellipsis. You are currently on a menu item. Press Melina voice pop-up button. Column 2, row 4 pop-up button cell. Indite select voices. Search. You are currently on a text.
So I pressed customize.
Control.
Customize, and another window pops up. And listen what's in here.
Control. Select voices. You select voices. Search. Search text field. Voices table. You are current play, dim, button, cancel, button, OK, default, OK, default, cancel, play, dim, voices, table.
So there's a table and there's a play voice. So let's enter that table.
Control in voices, table. English, Australia, female, row 1, control option, Karen, checkbox.
Okay. So there's a whole bunch of voices here that you can check mark to use for the Greek. But it actually, you know, it doesn't matter. What the point is that you can hear voices here. But I'm going to get out of this.
Customize language list, table. Capital EPS, mute speech, uncheck, checkbox. You are currently customize language list, table. Capital, add language, button. Customize language list, table. Capital. In customize language list. Melina voice pop-up button. Language, capital, language, English.
Okay, we're back up to English because it'll be easier for me to show you with English now. Okay, so we're back up to English. Now I'm going to vote right.
Option, voice, Samantha compact voice pop-up button. Column 2, row 2.
Okay, so Samantha compact is what I have selected. Now listen when I go right.
Control rate, 55 rate stepper, column 3, row 2. You are currently on a cell 2 items. Option, control, shift, in, 55 rate stepper, column 3, row 2, cell 2 items. Shift in edit text, 55. Out of edit text, 55.
Okay.
Insertion at end of.
So if I wanted to change
Control.
Samantha's
Option, control.
speech rate, I could here, but again, I told you there's an easier way. So I'm going to leave it at 55 because that's my default.
Rate stepper. You are currently on a stepper inside of the cell 2 items. To begin interacting with this stepper, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow. In stepper. Rate decrementing, rate 54.
Okay. So I interacted where it said stepper. And if I just vote down arrow.
Option, Control, rate decrementing 3. Rate decrementing 2.
So a voice is saying decrement and it's going up. Now I'm going to go back up to 55 because that's where I want it.
Option, Control, rate incrementing. Rate incrementing 54. Rate incrementing 55.
And I'm going to stop interacting.
Shift, on a stepper. You are currently on a stepper inside.
Again,
option.
Wherever
Control.
you hear stepper, you basically interact and then you can increase or decrease. Okay? And that's how you do it. And if you did the voiceover training, they get you to actually increase and decrease a stepper so that you can figure it out. Basically, guys, seriously, a stepper, a slider, it's all, they might be visually different, but for us blind people, sliders and steppers are pretty much the same thing. You interact and then you vote up arrow, vote right arrow, left arrow to increase and decrease. So I'm going to move on.
Control, rate, stepper.
Oops.
On up, edit, button, column 4.
Okay. And now there's an edit button.
Control.
Before we go to the edit button, let's go back to where it says English.
Option, rate, voice, language, default, English.
Okay. So I did that by, of course, going vote left. Now listen when I go right again. It's going to say Samantha Compact. Listen.
Option, control, voice, Samantha Compact voice pop-up button, column 2, row 2. Choose the voice to use.
I'm going, actually, oh, see?
Control.
I should have let you hear this. Listen.
Option, language, English, voice, Samantha Compact voice pop-up button, column 2, row 2. Choose the voice to use for voiceover. You are currently on a.
So choose the voice
Control.
to use for voiceover. So let's open this pop-up by pressing both space.
Option, press, Samantha Compact, voice pop-up button. You are currently on a menu item. To choose, Melina. You are Nikos. Customize ellipsis, Karen. Karen Compact, Lee. Karen, customize Nikos, Melina, check mark, Samantha Compact. Alex Compact. You are currently on a Daniel Compact.
So you get the idea. There's tons and tons of voices in here. And you can choose what you want for English. I have it set to Samantha. Now, I'm going to go to edit. Listen.
Samantha Compact voice pop-up up.
Sorry, I escaped out of the pop-up menu. I'm going to vote right till I hear edit.
Rate, 55 rate, edit, button, column 4, row 2. You are currently on in dialog, 4, window, voiceover utility, Samantha Compact,
Okay. So I click edit and
Default. Intonation. Volume. Pitch. Rate. Voice. Category. Voice settings for default system language. You are
so voice settings for
Control.
default system language, not necessarily for voiceover, but
control option. Category. You are currently on a
you have category,
voice.
voice,
You are rate.
rate,
Pitch.
pitch,
Volume.
volume,
Intonation.
intonation.
Default. You are currently on a text element.
Now, it lands me on default. I'm going to vote down arrow.
Option. Control. Content. You. Status. Type. Attributes. Voiceover menu. Voiceover menu.
So you can actually, at this point here, this is your customizing. So basically what it gives you here is for the voice that you've chosen, it can behave differently. So your voiceover can behave differently when it encounters these items.
Option. Control. Attribute. Voiceover menu. You
Voiceover
are currently
menu,
attributes.
attributes,
Type.
type,
Status.
status,
Content.
content,
Default.
default.
You are currently on a text element.
Okay, so these are your categories. I'm back up at the top at default. Now I'm going to vote right. Listen when it next to default.
Samantha Compact. Default. Voice. Pop-up button. 55. Content selected. Default. Rate. Edit text. No selection. You are currently on a text.
So the
Samantha Compact.
so for default, it tells me
Control.
the first item is Samantha Compact. So I can actually set voiceover to have different voices for different things if I want to. Not many people want to, but they're, hey, to each his own, right? Maybe you do want I actually have a different voice for my time announcement. I just want it different from the general Samantha voice all over the Mac because I don't want the two voices. I want to distinguish the time in my ears. So for example,
Control option.
let's see. If I go down from, so we're on the voice, okay? Hold on.
Default.
Default.
Samantha Compact. Default. Voice. Pop-up button.
So
Choose
we
the
have,
voice to use for voiceover. You are currently on a
okay.
pop-up button.
So it tells us, choose the voice. If I
Control.
go down,
Option. Control. Samantha Compact. Content. Voice. Pop-up button.
so for content, it's telling me it's going to use Samantha Compact.
Control option. Samantha Compact. Status. Voice. Pop-up button.
For status, it's going to use Samantha.
Control. Samantha Compact. Type. Voice. Pop-up button. Samantha Compact. Attributes. Voice. Pop-up button. Samantha Compact. Voiceover menu. Voice. Pop-up button.
So in other words, all my categories are set to Samantha Compact. If I want to, let's change one.
Option. Samantha Compact. Attributes. Voice. Samantha Compact. Type. Voice. Pop-up button. Choose the voice to use for voiceover when speaking in items type. You are currently on a pop-up. Samantha Compact. Status. Voice. Pop-up button. Choose the voice to use for voiceover when speaking status. Samantha Compact. Content. Voice. Pop-up button. Choose the voice to use for voiceover when speaking content. You are currently on a pop-up button. Samantha Compact. Default.
Actually, guys, I don't want to change anything, so
Control.
I'm not going to do it. Let's, I'm back
Option.
up to
Control.
the default, and it says voiceover Samantha. I'm just going to open up the menu so you can see.
Menu check mark. Samantha Compact. Great. Melina. Nikos. Customize ellipsis. Customize ellipsis. Nico. Melina. Great. Check mark. Samantha. Alex Compact. English United States. Dimmed. Daniel Compact. You are currently on a menu item.
So there, you see that you have many
Control.
choices.
Samantha Compact.
Now, you also have many choices according to your languages and the voices you've downloaded. Let's move on to the right.
55. Content selected. Default. Rate. Edit text. No.
Now, again, that's my rate,
Control.
speaking rate. I'm going to move right again.
Option. Default. Rate. Stepper. You are currently 45. Content default. Rate. Stepper. You are current.
So that's the stepper
Control.
that I would interact with to change it.
Option.
Then
Control.
we're going to move on to the right, vote right.
45. Content selected. Default. Pitch. Edit text. No zip.
So pitch, it's at
Control.
45.
Option. Default. Pitch. Stepper.
And then it gives you the stepper if you want to change the pitch.
Control.
Then we're going to vote right.
100. Content selected. Default. Volume. Edit text. No selection.
So volume is set to 100.
Default volume stepper. You are currently on
So it gives you the title first and it
Control.
tells you what it's set to, for example, volume 100, and then it gives you a stepper if you want to change it.
option 45. Content selected. Default intonation. Edit text. No selection. You default intonation stepper. You are current.
So there's the intonation.
Additional voice options. Collapse. Disclosure triangle. Content. You are additional default intonation step.
Okay. So let's say I wanted to change the intonation from 45. So listen.
45. Content selected. Default intonation. Edit.
And again, this is
Control.
a table. At the beginning of the table, you have your categories. And as you vote right arrow, you're going across all your options: volume, intonation, rate, pitch, so on and so forth. Okay. And all of these have steppers. So when you hear for example, in our case,
Option default volume stepper 45. Content selected. Default intonation. Edit text. No selection. You default intonation stepper.
okay, so I can either edit the text or go into the
Control.
stepper. It told us that I have it set to 45. I'm going to change it. Listen, I'm going to interact with the stepper.
In stepper. You are currently in a stepper. To decrease this value, press Control Option down arrow. To increase this value, press Control Option up arrow. To exit this stepper, press Control Option Shift up arrow. Up. Control. Intonation 44. Default. Intonation decrement. Default. Intonation 45. Incrementing. Default. Intonation 46. Incrementing. Default. Intonation 48. Increment. Default. Intonation. Default. Intonation 50. Incrementing. Control.
Okay. So I basically went arrow up till I got to 50. I'm going to stop interacting with the stepper.
On a stepper. You are currently on a stepper. To be.
And now if I arrow right, vote
Control.
left.
50. Content selected. Default. Intonation. Edit text. No selection.
So now it's set to 50. So this is how you would go and set these things. And now I'm just going to go to the other
Default. Intonation. Stepper.
vote
You are
right.
currently on additional voice options. Collapse. Disclosure triangle.
Additional voice options, disclosure triangle collapsed. So let's open up the triangle.
Expanding additional voice options. Control.
And I'm going to remind you, I just did vo /
Option. Control. Content. Additional voice options. Expanded. Disclosure triangle. Additional voice option. Content. You are currently on it.
So I'm going to vote right. Listen
Control.
to what's in here.
Control. Samantha compact. Content. Voice. Pop-up button. 53. Content selected. Content. Rate. Edit text. No. Content. Rate. Stepper. You are current. 53. Content. Pitch. Stepper. 100. Content. Volumes. 50. Content. Intonation. Stepper. Status. Samantha compact. Status. Voice. Pop-up.
Okay, hold on, because it's
Control.
hold on a
Option.
second, guys.
Control. 50. Step 1. Type. You are current. Voiceover menu. Samantha 50. Voiceover 53. Voiceover 100. Voiceover 50. Content. Voiceover menu. Intonation. Stepper. You are currently on the stepper. OK. Default button. You are. Control. Up. Voiceover menu. Intonation. Stepper. You. Default. Intonation. Step 50. Content selected. Default. Internet. Default. Voiceover 50. Voiceover menu. OK. Default.
Okay. So even though I pressed the extra options, it really doesn't give me anything here. So
OK.
I'm just going to
button.
press OK.
Customize language list table. Capital E P S I L O U in utility categories table. Speak option control navigation speed shift on
Sorry,
voices
guys.
selected tab.
I got too quick on the fingers and I
Control.
ended up getting out of the where we were. So give me a second.
Pronunciation mute speech uncheck customize language list table in customize language English. You are control voice Samantha compact voice rate edit button language specific capital E voice melody rate column 4 row
Okay.
4.
So I think
Control.
I confused you guys a little bit today, even though I have been in this window many times. And I'm going to cover this again in a different way. But basically, the languages that you have on your computer, you can customize the pitch, the rate, even the voice here. And if you set it here, these will be the default settings. But I'm going to take it a step further, and we're probably going to pass the 1 hour mark, even though I didn't want to. But I don't want to leave this in the middle. So Here, I'm going to stop interacting
Option.
with this table.
Control. Shift. On off customize.
And I'm going to go.
Control.
So remember, we have 2 tabs at the top, right? Pronunciation and voices, or
Option. Mute speed. Pronunciation. Voices. Selected.
voices and the
Control.
pronunciation. If I vote right, we get to the checkbox for muting the speech, the table, and then listen.
Option. Pronunciation. Mute speech. Unchecked. Customize language list. Table. Tap. Add language button. Add language to
Add a language.
Control. Option. Remove selected languages button. L button. L
So
button.
there's a remove and an add. I'm going to go to add.
Removes add language button. Choose a language to add.
I pressed voice space on add language, and it says choose a language.
Control. Choose a language to add. You are choose a language to add. Table. You are cancel button. Add default button. Add default button.
So we have a table, a cancel button, and an add button. So let's go into that table.
Cancel. Choose a language. Shift. And choose a language to add. Table. Arabic. Selected. Chinese. Czech. Danish. Dutch. Finnish. French. German. Hebrew. Hindi. Hungarian, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Russian, Slovak, Spanish, Swedish, Spanish, Espanol.
Here, let's do Spanish because I think that's a very popular language. It's very worldwide. So I'm on Spanish, okay? I'm gonna stop interacting.
I'll choose a language. Cancel button. Add default button.
And I'm gonna press the add.
Control. Add language button. Add a language to customize voice settings form. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control Option Space.
As soon as I pressed the button, it threw me out of where we pressed add a language.
Control. Remove selected languages. Help button. Removes add language button.
Now.
Add a customized language list table.
Now we've added Spanish. So let's
Control.
go back into that table where I had Greek and English.
In customized language list table. Language. Default. Column 1.
Remember? Column 1 is
Control.
the language names, default, Greek, Spanish. And then beside there, we have what voice we're going to choose. So let's go down. Instead of going right, if I go right, because I'm on the default, it's going to go to English, and then it's going to tell me voice compact Samantha. But instead of that, I'm just going to vote right, vote down arrow.
Option Control. English. Language specific configurations. Capital E-P. Espanol Spanish. You are current.
So now it's added
Control.
Spanish. And I'm on Spanish. So now let me vote right.
Option Control. Voice. Monica compact voice pop-up button. Column 2.
Look at that. It tells me
Control.
Monica. And then if I vote right.
Option Control. Rate. 55 rate. Rate stepper. Column 3. Column 4. Row 5 empty cell. Column 4. Rate. Voice. Monica compact voice pop-up.
So now it's the
Column
default
2, row 5.
voice, I guess, for Spanish is Monica. But if I open up this menu and it's telling me that it's set to 55 speech rate, I guess because I have my other voices set at that. So I'm going to vote space where it says voice Monica.
Control. Menu check mark. Monica compact. You are current.
So it told me Monica
Control.
compact.
Control. Customize ellipsis. Customize ellipsis. Check mark. Monica Spanish. Dim. Nikos. Melina. Greek. Samantha compact. Alex compact. English United States. Daniel compact. English United Kingdom. Tessa compact. English. South Africa. Fiona compact. English. Moira compact. English. Vina Richie English. Lee compact. Lee. English. Karen. English Australia. Vina compact.
Okay. So that's all the voices. It's giving me default Monica, but
Moira English. Fiona English. Customize ellipsis. You are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press Control Option Space. To close the select voices. Select voices. Select voices.
Select voices.
Search text field. Voices table. You are current shift in voices table. English.
I'm in a table.
Row 1. Control Karen. Check box. Karen. Siri. English. Lee. Siri. English. Siri makes English. Moira. Moira. English. Siri mail.
So I'm going through all the voices quickly to see if it's got any other Spanish voices here.
English. Tessa. English. Siri. English. English. English United. Samantha, Samantha, Siri, Susan, Vicky, Victoria, English, Alex, Siri, male compact, unchecked checkbox, Tom, English, Albert, bad news, Bell, cello, Derek, good, hyster, pipe, Trin, whisper, Zard, Arabic, Saudi Arabia, male.
Okay, so we're on Arabic. So let me see if I press S. No, it's not going to work. One letter never gets.
Control Ellen, unchecked checkbox.
Oh, I guess Ellen.
You are
works.
currently
Okay,
on the
hold
cell option. Control Ellen compact. Dutch, Netherlands, female.
So we're on D.
Option
Hold
control.
on.
Back to Siri male. Fred, Audrey, Orly, Siri female. Fred, Siri male. Thomas, Thomas German. Anna, Siri female.
So I'm on the German languages. Let's go down all the way to S. There's probably an easier way.
Romania.
Okay, I'm on
You are
R,
currently on a cell inside of a table. Iana, Russia, Captain, Siri male, unchecked checkbox. Yuri, Slovak, Laura, scan it, Carlos,
Okay.
Spanish, Colombia.
Spanish Colombia. Depending on where you guys are, Spanish Colombia, Spanish USA, Spanish Mexico probably, but
Control Carlos. Uncheck check. Soledad. Uncheck Spanish. Mexico. Female. Angelica. Paulina. Paulina compact. Siri female. Spanish. Mexico. Male. Juan. Uncheck check. One compact. Siri male. Uncheck Spanish. Spain. Female. You are currently on a.
So Spanish in Spain is much different
Control.
from Spanish in the Caribbean. Okay? You have to know that. So
Option. Monica. Uncheck check. Monica compact. Siri female. Spanish. Spain. Male. Jorge, uncheck, Jorge compact, Siri male, uncheck, Swedish, Sweden, female,
okay.
Siri male,
So that's
Jorge
it.
compact.
So we've got Spanish Spain,
Control.
Spanish Mexico, and we can choose. There's a whole bunch of Spanish voices here. So
Control option, Jorge, uncheck checkbox.
Here.
You are check Jorge, checkbox.
So I checked Jorge, which is actually Spanish for the name George, which I love. So I've check marked that. Okay, so I'm going to stop interacting
Control.
with this table.
Shift, auto voice it, play button.
And now I can play so we can
Control.
hear what it says. And I'm going to vote space on play.
Option, control. Or press stop button.
Jorge, soy una voz española.
So let's do it again.
Option, control.
Hola,
Press.
me llamo Jorge y soy una voz española.
Control. Control.
Hola,
Press stop
me llamo
button.
Jorge y soy una voz española.
Okay. So he's saying hello and, that his name is Jorge and he speaks Española.
Control. Cancel button. Okay, default button. Okay, default button.
Okay. So now we played. Do we like Jorge? We like him. So now you have cancel or okay.
Option. Cancel button. Okay, default.
Now, if you don't like Jorge, you're going to go
Control.
back into the Spanish voices and choose a different one and stop interacting with the table and listen to it. You're going to choose Juan and you're going to, listen to that. You're going to choose, I can't remember the other Spanish names. I think there was one, Angelina or Angelica or something like that. You can choose that one and see if you like it. And when you decide that you like one, you press the OK
Control.
button.
Okay, default button. Customize language list. Take
Okay, so now,
Espanol Spanish. Monica compact voice pop-up button. 55.
We've added
Column 4.
Jorge.
Row 5 empty cell.
How do we,
Selected.
if we want Jorge as our default,
Mute speech. Unchecked. Checkbox. Customize language list. Table. Shift. In custom.
you're going to go back into your table. You're going to go
Espanol
down.
Spanish.
You're going to go
Monica
down.
compact voice pop.
Stop. You're going to go down to
55
Spanish.
rate. Rate stepper. Control. Melina voice pop-up button. Monica compact voice pop-up button. Language. Espanol. Spanish.
So when you hear language, Espanol, Spanish, you're going to vote right.
Control voice. Monica compact voice pop-up button. Column 2. Row.
Pop-up button. It says Monica. We're going to
Control.
press OK.
Control option.
Sorry. We're going to press vote
Option.
space.
Press. Monica compact. Customize ellipsis. Customize ellipsis. Check mark. Monica compact. Jorge. New York.
So check mark Monica. But
Control.
but it says Jorge, but he's not checked. So I'm going to press vote space on Jorge.
Option. Control. Jorge voice pop-up
Jorge.
button. Column 2. Row 5.
So now,
Control.
listen when I go back to language.
Language. Espanol. Spanish. Column 1. Row.
Vote right.
Voice. Jorge voice pop-up button. Column 2.
Now it's telling me that Jorge is selected.
Control. Option. Rate. 55 rate. Column 4. Row 5 empty cell. Column 4.
And it's at 55
Control.
rate. So that's how you add a language. And of course a voice. Now,
Option. Control. Shift. On up custom.
I stopped interacting.
Control.
Now, let's say you want to remove a language. It's the same thing. You're going to interact with your table.
Control. Option. Shift. In custom. Column 4. Row 4 empty cell. Rate. 55 rate. Option. Voice. Samantha compact voice. Language. Option. Control. Default.
Okay. So right now, because I'm not quitting the voiceover utility, when I'm going back into the table, it's landing me at the last item I was on. But when you, let's say you've chosen Jorge or let's say you've chosen Spanish because you think it might help you and you want to learn Spanish, but then you decide, I don't want to learn Spanish. I changed my mind. I want to learn, I don't know, Chinese or whatever the case may be. You tried Chinese and it's too hard for you, or whatever the case is, and you decide you want to get rid of a language. In this case, we're going to get rid of Spanish because I don't speak Spanish. I do want to learn, but now is not the time, so I'm going to get rid of the Spanish just to show
Control.
you.
Option. English. Language. Capital. Espanol Spanish.
Okay.
You are current.
So we found Espanol Spanish. I'm going to
Control.
stop interacting.
On up customized language list. Table. Option. Control.
And I'm going to vo-write.
Add language. Remove selected languages button. Remove. Add language button.
I clicked, when I got to remove selected language, I just pressed vo space. Now
Option.
look.
Control. Remove selected languages. Dim button. Help button. Help. Remove. Add language button. Customize language list. Table. In customized language list. Table. Language. Default. English. Language specific. Capital E. P. Capital E. P. S. I. Language specific.
So Spanish is gone.
Control.
So because I chose Spanish and I clicked vo space on remove, it automatically removed it. So this is basically your voices.
Control. Option. Edit. Rate. Voice.
Oops.
Samantha compact voice pop. On up customized language list. Mute speech. Uncheck. Pronunciation. Voices.
So that was your voices tab.
Control.
This is where you can choose default settings for the languages you have. Let's go to the other tab, which is the pronunciation tab.
Option. Pronunciation. Tab. 2 of 2. Selected. Pronunciation. Tab. 2.
So I went vo
Control.
right to pronunciation, and then I went vo space on, of course, pronunciation. So now we're in that tab, and listen to what's here.
Option. Control.
Of course, I'm going to vo right.
Pronunciations. Table. Add button. Remove. Dim button. Help button. Help button.
So again, we have an add button, remove button, a help button, and a table. This is really easy to do, and I'm going to do it right in front of you guys right now, okay? I'm going to, actually, let me show you what's in here already.
Remove. Dim. Add button. Pronunciations. Table. In pronunciations. Table. Row 1 of 12. Text. Semicolon. Substitution. Wing. Application. All apps. Pop up.
So the first thing it gives you,
Semicolon. Control. Control. Substitution. Text. Semicolon. Control.
first thing it gives you is the text. Then if you vo right, there's the substitution. And then there's a pop-up button for all apps, or you can choose a specific app. If I vo down arrow, you can hear what's in here already. So listen.
Control. Option. Semicolon. You are currently on a text. Smiley. Comma. Colon. 802.11. 802.give. GUI. LBS. QTY. QTY.
Okay. So these are what's in here already. They're not all the defaults because I've added one. I'm going to add another one for you guys so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So I'm going to stop interacting with the table and I'm going to go to add, okay?
On off pronunciations. Table.
So I'm going to vo right.
Control. Add button.
I'm
Add a word or symbol
I'm going to click on,
Control.
I just heard add. So I'm going to vo space on add.
Control. Press add button.
So I pressed it. She says press add button. I've pressed it. And now I have to type in because it lands you right away on the text field. So for example, And I'm just going to confirm that for you by vote right and then vote left again.
Option control. Substitution blank. Text blank.
Okay. So it says text blank. When I go vote left, it says substitution blank. So now where it says text blank, I'm going to type in
O, Z, Oz.
so many times in recipes, they use the abbreviation OZ. And sometimes, actually most of the times, sometimes VoiceOver picks it up, sometimes it doesn't. So I pressed OZ, I typed in OZ. Now I'm going to go to the substitution field by going vote right. Sorry about that, vote right.
Control. Option. Substitution blank. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. To enter text in this field, type. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, or right arrow. To exit this table, press Control, Option, Shift, up arrow.
Okay, so she gave us all the instructions, and I'm on a blank text field under substitution. So I'm going to type in
O, U, N, C, E, S. Ounces.
So now,
Control Option, Text, ounces. You are currently on a text field. Control, Option, Substitution blank.
oh,
You are
sorry
currently on
guys.
text, ounces.
Sorry
You are currently
guys.
on S. Sierra, F, N, U, O.
Okay,
Ignore case, checkbox.
sorry.
Application, all, substitution, pound, text, ignore case, text, Oz. Substitution blank. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. To enter text in this field, Option, Control, Application, substitution blank. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. To enter text in this field, type. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow,
Okay.
left arrow, or
You
right
know
arrow.
what?
To exit this, Option, Control, Shift, in edit text.
Okay, I think ounces is pre-loaded and it's not allowing me to do it. And I actually did this off camera before we started. So I'm going to choose something else. So just give me a second.
Option. Out of edit text, Oz. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. To enter text in dialog, alert, cancel button. Are you sure you want to delete the substitution for Oz?
Oh, did I by accident? Yeah, okay. Yeah, hold on.
Delete default button. Pronunciations table row 12 of 12 text QTY substitution control option shift in edit text QTY out of edit text. You are current
Hold on, guys. I got to see what's going on here.
LBS GUI div 800 colon comma smiley semicolon substitution ring out of add button edit text blank. You are currently on O Z Oz up control blank. You are currently O U C E S ounces object text ounces substitution blank.
Okay.
You are
So ounces, I guess VoiceOver
Control.
recognizes ounces already. Okay. So actually, let me just see.
control application all apps ignore case check text semicolon. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. To shift out of pronunciation add button remove button help button remove add pronunciations table row 1 shift input semicolon smiley comma colon 800 to div GUI LB ounces. You are currently on a substitution blank. You are currently text ounces.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's preset. That's why it's doing
Control.
that. So let me remove this.
Substitute applicate ignore case text substitution text ignore case check application all apps pop substitution blank shift in edit text out of text ounces. You are currently on a text field inside of a shift out of pronounce add but remove button. Are you sure you want to delete the substitution for ounces? Delete default button. Remove
So-
button.
So actually, I just removed one right in front of you guys. So I chose Oz ounces, what it's saying. And what I did is I stopped interacting and I went to remove and I removed it. So I'm going to do a different one for you guys. Actually, I'm going to try here.
Control add button.
So I'm on the add button. I'm going to
Control,
press
option.
full space.
Press add button. Press add button. Remove button. Add button. Edit text. Blank. You
I'm
are
gonna
currently on the text
do
field.
I'm going to do OZ
Control.
period. And let's see if that'll work.
O Z Oz period. Option substitution blank. You are O U C E S.
Let's see if it works.
Ounces.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so this is preset.
O period. Z O.
So I'm going to do a different one for you guys. Let's say, I need to think of one. Okay, 1
/2 Object application. All substitution blank. Text 1/2.
Okay.
You are
So on text, I put
Control.
1/2. So what I can do is every time VoiceOver sees 1/2,
option control substitution blank. You are currently on H A L F 2/2. Option text 1/2/2. Substitution blank. Text 1/2/2.
okay, this
You are
one's
currently on the
preset
text
as
field.
well. Let me think of one. Okay, here.
KG.
Every time she sees kilogram,
Option substitution blank. KIGRAMS. You are currently on a text option. Control text kilograms. You are ignore case check application all apps substitution pounds. You are currently on a text LBS substitution pound.
okay, guys, I typed in LBS, and every time she sees LBS, I want her to say pounds. For some reason,
Application ignore case text QTY. You are currently on a option control LBS kilograms. You are currently on a text field inside of the text. Are you sure you want to delete the substitution for kilograms?
yes,
You are currently on a button. Delete default pronunciation.
I like that I'm doing this with you guys.
LBS
So that way,
substitution.
you'll figure
pounds.
out what you're doing wrong.
Add button.
That's
Edit text blank. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. K.
Maybe KG is
K.
preset too. Can you guys think of one to tell me what to give you guys an example? I did pounds. I've done pounds. I've done what can I think? Okay, let's try this one.
IE. Control option. Substitution blank. You are currently on pounds. Blank. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. To enter text in this frown. You are currently on a text
No.
field inside of a table. To enter text in this field. Type. To navigate this option. Control. Text. You are ignore case. Check. Text. Smiley. Comma. Colon. 800 to give. GUI. IE. Substitution blank. You are currently on a text field inside of a table. To enter text in this field, type. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control Option and then up arrow, down arrow, Option, Control, Shift. In edit text.
Doesn't allow me.
Option Control.
I think I'm choosing.
Smiley. Brown. You are currently on a text field.
I think I'm choosing things that have
Control.
already been chosen, and I can't think of one off of the type of like the top of my head, so that I can.
Option text. You ignore case. Check text. You are smiley. Semicolon. Smiley. Comma. You are colon. 802 give. GUI. IE. LBS. IE. You are currently on a text confirm IE. Content selected. Edit text. Substitution blank. You are application. All apps. Pop up button. Ignore case. Check. Checkbox. Applicate. Substitution blank. You are currently on a text
it
field
doesn't-
inside of a table. To enter text in this field, type. To navigate the cells within this text, i.e. You are selection deleted.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more for you guys. I can't think of Oh,
LT. Control option. Substitution blank. You
so
are
what
currently
I
on a
did
text
is now I wrote LT
Control.
in the text, and under substitution,
LITRE. Repeat S. Repeaters.
let's see if that'll work.
Option. Application. All apps. Pop up button.
Now, I did LT leaders, and I'm going to press on the pop-up button
Option. Control.
that says all apps.
Press. All apps. Pop-up button. All apps. Pop-up button. You are current. Menu. Press. All apps. Finder. Google Chrome. Voiceover utility. Other app ellipsis. Other app ellipsis. Control.
So here it gives you a
Option.
choice.
Control. Voiceover. Google Chrome. Finder. Check mark. All apps.
You can have your substitutions set to all apps wherever it encounters the abbreviation or whatever it is you're trying to substitute, or it'll list open apps. In this case, right now, I have Google open, obviously, because I'm, doing this video, and I have VoiceOver utility. So it's naming these things off. But at the bottom, as you heard, it says other apps. I could click on that and choose specific apps. For example, let's say, here, I'll go.
Option. Control. Finder. VoiceOver utility. Other app ellipsis. You are currently on a menu.
I'm going to vote space on other.
Option.
Twitter
now. Helen, one notification. Twitter
now.
Busy. Press other app ellipsis. All apps. Pop-up button. Option. Control. You cancel button. List view table.
So it gives me a table.
Option.
I'm going to go in that table.
Shift in list view table. Name. App Store app Automator. Books app. Calc. Calendar. Gis. Conk. Diction. Dropbox app application. Text edit app application.
Okay.
Control.
I pressed the letter T for text edit.
Control. Date modify. Name. Text edit app. Date modify. Size. 5. Kind. Name. Time machine app kind. Applicate. Date modify. Name. Kind. Application.
Sorry, guys.
Name. Text edit app application. Out of list view.
Stop interacting with text.
Control.
Where I chose text edit.
Control. Cancel button. Open button. You are currently on open button. Pronunciations table. Row 13 of 15.
And I click open. So
LBS,
now,
substitution.
listen.
Pounds, pronunciations table. Row 13 of 15. Add button. Shift. Text. Leaders. Substitution blank. Application. All apps. Pop-up button. You are currently on a pop-up button inside of a table. To display a list of options, press
it says all apps.
Control.
But when I press.
Control option. Menu press. All apps. Pop-up button. Option. Control. Finder. Google Chrome. Text edit. VoiceOver utility.
Text edit is
Control.
there.
Text edit. Text edit. Pop-up button.
Okay.
You are currently
I
on
clicked vote space on text edit.
Control. Substitution blank. Application. Text edit. Pop-up button.
Okay. So now it tells me that wherever it encounters LTS, whatever I put in, I can't remember. When it when it encounters text edit, it's gonna give me the shortcut. So I'm gonna demonstrate that for you guys. I'm gonna stop interacting this table.
Control enough pronunciations table. Add button. Remove button.
And again, you have your remove and your add, okay?
Help button.
And your help.
You are
So
currently-
that's what's in the pronunciations
Control.
tab. It's for you to customize and add substitutions and remove substitutions, okay? So we've set one up now, okay? So, and I'm gonna, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to, I'm gonna quit the VoiceOver utility.
Command. Finder. Desktop. Blank.
And I'm gonna go to the dock
Control.
and open up text edit.
Control. Google Chrome. Open. 21 of 30. Text edit 4 of 30. Option. Finder. Blind kisses. Folder. Text edit. Open. Window. List view. Table. New document. Button. Untitled.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you guys how to
Control.
use text edit on a different episode, but I've opened up a new document in text edit.
Control. Shift. In edit text.
Okay, and I'm going to type in LBS,
L. B. S.
which
Pounds.
is an abbreviation for pounds that we see everywhere. As soon as I typed it, she said pounds, even though I typed in LBS. So I'm going to do it again for you guys. I'm going to backspace and delete what I typed.
F.
Okay. Now listen again. I'm going to type LBS. And as soon as I finish typing S, she's already going to give me actually, I'll do it a different way. Here, let's pretend I'm typing out a recipe and I want to tell you guys. Here, I'm going to tell you guys.
2. P. O.
Actually,
Oh.
sorry.
O.
See, I did a mistake. 2.
2. L. B. S. 2 pounds. E. U. D, ground, B, 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 F, beef. New line.
So I typed in the number 2, and next to the number 2, I typed in LBS, and then I typed the words ground beef. As soon as VoiceOver heard LBS, she said pounds, because I've set it up that way, because a lot of people just use that abbreviation. Okay, so if I go up,
Option, misspelled, 2 pounds, ground beef.
don't worry about the misspelled, okay? So 2 pounds ground beef. She doesn't even say 2 LBS, because I've told VoiceOver, wherever you encounter that, please tell me it's pounds, okay? Now I'm gonna go down.
Option, misspelled, 2 pounds, option, new line.
Okay, now
1, F, T, 1 LT, S, 1 LTS,
yeah, so liters didn't work.
S, T, L.
Yeah, so I don't know why she's not accepting liters, because like I said, I did this before.
P.
So,
Miss
but I
P,
did
F,
pounds. So I deleted what I have on the screen. I'm gonna quit text edit.
Command, quit text edit. Plain text, mute, save button, delete button, finder, desk,
Okay, I've closed text edit.
control.
Now, honestly, guys, something's gone wrong and I need to investigate. And I love that it went wrong on camera, because I did this before I came online. I actually added the pounds. So I don't know why VoiceOver utility right now. I have to do a little bit of investigating. So what I'm going to do is, I've showed you how to add, you know what? Sorry about that. I've showed you how to add a language. I've showed you how to remove a language. I've basically showed you how to set your default on the languages you have on your Mac, whether it be just English or English, Chinese, and Arabic, let's say, whatever the case is. I've showed you how to set the default settings in the VoiceOver utility. There is a way to change voices and settings on the fly, but I'm not going to show you that today, because right now we're focusing on the VoiceOver utility. And I did show you how to add a substitution for the pronunciation, even though it didn't work. It did work before I came on camera, and I've done it in the past as well. So I don't know what's happening today. It could be I may be doing something wrong. Maybe I've drawn a blank about something. Maybe these substitutions are already by default. So I'm actually going to investigate a little. And when I come back next week to do the next, sorry about that, to do that, like, sorry guys, when I come back next week to do the next part of the VoiceOver utility, then at that point, I'm going to I'm going to explain to you guys what happened. So at this point, guys, I've stopped sharing my screen because I'm not going to show you anything else for this episode. Basically, we covered the speech category, and I've also showed you a new way of interacting. I'm sorry that the pronunciation didn't work snappy. It doesn't matter. I still showed you how to do it. I promise I'll come back with that next week. So at this point, I think that if you guys need to reach me, you should know it by now, but Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner at gmail.com. Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway at gmail.com. And of course, you can comment in the section below. I'm really sorry that I may have confused you guys a little bit today. And it actually sounds like I'm losing my train of thought. And it's not that I'm losing my train of thought. It's while I'm talking to you guys, I'm also thinking about, things like, shucks, shoot, I did it. I did it 2 weeks ago. I did it today before I came on camera. Because I always double check things before I start my videos so I can help you guys out. I don't want to confuse you. I want to help you. And I always check things out. So I checked it out even before I came on camera. And for some reason, while on camera, it didn't work. That's okay, guys. Again, I'll come back with this. I love you guys very, very much. And if you have any questions or clarifications, send them to Victor and he'll pass them on to me. Send them to me directly. Write it in the comments section. Whatever you prefer. Love you guys and see you on the next episode of Learning Together. Bye, guys.